Hi, I'm one of the producers for this project, and I'm gonna do this interview with you. Do you maybe want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Laura. I'm 18 years old and I'm a student. I'm from Slovenia, but I lived in Poland, Warsaw, my whole life. As a person, I would say I'm very adventurous. I love to try new things, specifically trying different types of foods and everything. I love to travel. I've always liked to travel. I hate being in the same place for like too long periods of time. I also love to dance, go out with my friends, and I would say overall I'm a very open-minded person and I don't say no to things just because they scare me maybe.
Okay.
First, I want to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us something about you shortly.
All right. Um, I'm Atanet. I'm 19 years old. I live in the Netherlands. I'm born and raised here. I study IT at Fontis in Eindhoven. Um, I like to play basketball. I like to swim. I like to play games.
What are some things you find attractive in a potential future partner?
Well, to start off from, looks, I would definitely say I like, brunettes, taller than me, preferred. But in terms of personality, I really want someone who can, first of all, make me laugh. That's one thing, but also is emotionally mature, who can listen, who doesn't just want to be goofy and funny all the time, but can also be serious and we can have long conversations and we can really open up with each other. I really want someone who's emotionally mature and is, I guess, emotionally available, because I think if a person is not, it's very difficult to build a relationship with them, a solid foundation. Um, and I also want a partner who is adventurous, who wants to explore things with me, who doesn't just want to sit at home all day and do nothing. I want to be able for us to go out, explore new things, and yeah.
So, when you meet somebody, do you have any specific type, or do you have like certain attributes that you look for in a person or in a partner?
Well, the most important thing, like not the most, but like one of the most important things is for me that a girl has his own thoughts and like his own I want a girl to have his own opinion and not to be like dumb and don't have his own opinion, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like a big turn off for me. And like of course, a kind hearted person. Um it will be like if a girl's Turkish, she is much more attractive to me than a foreign girl. But I don't have a type in general, if I think about it. Just the personality is more important, I guess. Like I'd rather have my like the closest to my culture, and especially if I'm looking for something serious. And like when I'm talking about serious, I'm also talking about like maybe someone to marry. Who knows?
And then what would your ideal date look like?
To me, I think it would probably be starting off with getting some food for sure, so we could get the conversation flowing. I think it's always good to start off maybe, just sitting down and talking. And then afterwards, I feel like an activity would be nice. So anything that
Yeah.
involves something doing like spending time together, and can even be like doing like a fun little course. Also, the making food together, doing like a course on making the local cuisine together. I feel like could be really fun.
What would you say would be your ideal date?
My ideal date. Um, my ideal date would be a date where I really get to know the person, because that's like the purpose of a date. And um, and it has to be fun and like spontaneous thing, like going to a park, having a picnic, maybe go to the beach, swim together or something. Uh, I guess like what you see in the dating shows or whatever on TV. That would be like a perfect date for me. I think those are the most fun dates instead of like just sitting and eating and barely talking. Uh, if you're doing something spontaneous. That's like I think that's the best way to get to know the person.
And then, what's the worst date you've ever been on?
Um, I don't think I think probably the worst date I've been on is when a guy unfortunately made me split the bill.
Oh,
And maybe that comes off as very superficial from my side, but I do think that from my standards, it's a bit off, and we were having a good time, and then, we split the bill, and I was like, okay.
so no insults, no
Well,
surprising comments.
from a date, no, but then from a guy who I was seeing once, he did do a diss track on me, so
A diss track.
yes. So I don't
Oh.
know if that counts, but
I think that counts as a bad dating experience.
yes, it was very bad.
Worst date, I really don't know. Like maybe the most boring one is just one where I went to a restaurant that just talked, but it wasn't that bad to be honest.
I mean, that's good. If that was your worst date, then
Yeah,
good.
maybe there's one to come. I don't know.
Well, I hope not.
I hope not this Saturday.
We're gonna see. Maybe that's gonna be your next best date.
I hope so.